Would you guys share your bedroom with a refugee then? You have spare room on the floor for a mattress?
I don't, but I would if I did.
If you had space?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have space in your bedroom?
No, it's tiny.
It's tiny.
No, I think people forget like the UK is a very privileged country. Obviously, maybe not right now with the strikes and everything, but we're very privileged. I don't think we realise how lucky we have it compared to some other countries. So like, obviously, maybe like we think, oh no, that's the worst thing that could possibly happen, but you've probably got to think like where they've come from, that all they want is a warm bed and a warm room to sleep.
Just the basics.
Yeah, the basics, that's all they want.
And so you mentioned earlier on about the government paying for it. When you say the government paying for it, do you mean the taxpayer?
Well, I guess so, yeah.
The government doesn't have any money, does it? It's taxpayer money. So the taxpayer should fund it.
Yeah. I mean, the taxpayer funds everything realistically at the end of the day, doesn't it?
I agree. All the money comes from the populace, doesn't it?
But I don't think it's necessarily. Well, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
But the taxpayer, we're agreeing, if we should house illegals or refugees, the taxpayer should, through the government, should pay for it.
Yeah. At least some of it.
To that, we'll get to that. Because this ain't Sharia law here. We'll get to that. There ain't no Sharia law here. You come to a free country. That's why I can stand here and say this. Jesus is God. Muhammad is a false prophet.
That's up to you, but that verse doesn't apply to you.
You all want me to turn around and change the subject because you can't defend your prophet. You can't defend your prophet because you're going to indict your false prophet because your prophet dressed in women's clothes. Your prophet was suicidal. Your prophet raped Aisha when she was 9 years old. Right? So let's talk facts. Stop dancing around. Can you step forward, please?
You're running around in circles.
Thank you. Look, he's calling me a kafir. Then step forward, please. Step forward, please. Step forward, please. I'm asking you.
You're a terrorist. You're a terrorist. He loves Jesus. You're a terrorist. You're heating up. You're a terrorist.
Anyone who perceives that what I'm saying is Islamophobic, by that definition, it is Islamophobic. And examples in the report by this all-party parliamentary group said things like saying Islam spread by the sword could be Islamophobic, certain types of criticism of Muhammad, talking about grooming gangs and various other things could be Islamophobic. And if we make this a definition that will actually have force in law, you really would have basically a blasphemy law in this country.
Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna watch a video with my dad once again, and it's called Defend the Freedom to Critique Islam, sign the petition to stop an Islamophobia blasphemy law. So there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the UK as we speak, and me and my dad, we both have our opinion on the matter. And yeah, let's just do this.
Hi everybody, as you can see, I'm back again. So as promised, 1 or 2 times a week we'll make this little video for you to enjoy and comment on. Let's go.
I'm standing here in Hyde Park Corner, known as the home of free speech in Britain, where there are robust debates and have been for many, many decades about all sorts of religions and worldviews, Islam, Christianity, what have you. And people need to be able to have these debates and discuss things. And where Christian evangelists like Hatton Tash have bravely come here and preached the gospel and openly said what's wrong with Islam, and many Muslims have become Christians through her ministry. We need to be able to continue to do this, but there's a definition of Islamophobia called the APPG definition proposed by the All-Party Parliamentary Group on British Muslims, which defines Islamophobia saying it's rooted in racism and is a type of racism that targets Muslimness or perceived Muslimness. I hope you can see there are so many problems with that definition, even as I read it. Islam is not a race. How can Islamophobia be racism? And then it says Muslimness, which is a very vague, unclear term. What does that mean? And in case that wasn't unclear enough, you've got perceived Muslimness, which means anyone who perceives that what I'm saying is Islamophobic, by that definition, it is Islamophobic. And examples in the report by this all-party parliamentary group said things like saying Islam spread by the sword could be Islamophobic, certain types of criticism of Muhammad, talking about grooming gangs and various other things could be Islamophobic. And if we make this a definition that will actually have force in law, you really would have basically a blasphemy law in this country. The government is planning to set up this committee, as I said. The proposed chair is Dominic Grieve, who actually wrote the foreword to the report proposing that definition. He's not a fan of free speech. Another person shortlisted is Kari Yassim. He was brought in to advise the government under the Conservative government on Islamophobia and then dropped because his obvious opposition to free speech when he campaigned against showing a particular film. So we're very concerned about this. We're starting a petition calling the government, please don't define Islamophobia. Anti-Muslim is fine. We should show respect and love towards our Muslim friends who are often the biggest victims of Islam itself. Anti-Muslim hatred, anti-Muslim discrimination, that's clear. Once you say Islamophobia, it seems like even criticising the religion Islam is something you shouldn't do, and we must preserve the right to criticise Islam. So if you care about free speech, please sign this petition to say don't define Islamophobia.
Okay, so were you aware of what was going on in the UK, or is this the first time you hear about this blasphemy law?
No, what's going on the last year in the UK, Ireland and Scotland is an example of what is coming to the whole world. There's a lot of antichrist been going on there. Christianity has to be dominated, has to be eradicated, and it's been done by different means, especially through politics. Let me state as first that phobia means afraid of. You have anagraphobia, where you're afraid of spiders. You have different phobias. So Islamophobia is wrong. We are not afraid of the Islam. That is a totally wrong expression of what it means. And yeah, I am for free speech. I want the Muslims to say what they want to say. I want Christians to say what they want to say. I follow the American way of thinking about that. We were born free beings. God made us free of thinking and expression. And if you don't agree with somebody, you can go in debate with them and try to win your argument by putting these laws in practice. You muzzle people, and by muzzling people, you don't. You might think that you solved the problem, but it will go underground, and people will still be saying things to each other because it's in our nature. But if I see things like last time I saw a video about in Scotland, there is a new law that everybody that lives in an area, I don't know how big the area is, around an abortion clinic, cannot even pray in their own homes because it might influence the people that want to have an abortion. Think about that. Think how far they go. You cannot pray in your own home in private because it might influence people. This is what this is what England, Scotland, and Ireland is going to. Forbidding to pray in silence in your own home. If we let these antichrists, these demons, or these workers of Satan keep doing these things and making these laws, it will only become a prosecution of Christians. They will put you in jail, and you may believe it or not, but in the long run, they will crucify you, they will hang you, or they will put you in jail for life, just because you want to pray to your God. Why? You also have to think, why is it always Christianity that is attacked? Never the Muslims. The governments will not attack Muslims. The government will not attack Hindus. The government will not attack Sikh. It's always Christianity. And why is that? It's very simple. Satan hates Christianity. Satan hates Christ. Satan hates human beings. So that's why we are always attacked. It's the only real, the only true religion, and that's why we're always attacked, mocked, and it's been so in the entire history of humankind. Christianity has always been the subject of mocking, attacking, and prosecution. So that's proof to me that they're afraid of us. They are afraid of us. This Christian phobia. They are afraid of us because they know we talk the truth. They know we have influence. Like the law says, you cannot pray in silence in your own home because it might influence people for not getting an abortion. You have to think about, you might influence people by praying. You know, they know how strong prayer can be. They know if a lot of people around the clinic start praying, please let this person open his eyes and don't get the abortion, that might work by the power of God, you know. So they know, they believe. Don't get me wrong, they believe in these things because they know demons and Satan is real because they worship them, because they give them, it's him that gives them power. So they know that Christianity is real. They only say they don't believe it. They say they're atheists. No, they really know it's real. The power of prayer, the power of a government of people coming together to try to save somebody. They know it. They know it. And that's why they oppose it so much. So, yeah, look at England. Look at how it is evolving. It is horrible. I saw a video yesterday about a big statue by some famous guy, sculpturist, a demon, the demon with bowl. Look it up, demon with bowl. It's a 30-meter high statue. Yeah, that is placed for people to look at. It's impressive, but it's so demonic. With its claws, and it's beheaded, it's headless. Yeah, there it is. That's the demon with bowl. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. It means we rule you. Look at me. I rule you. I pour the bowl of wrath, of hate, of deception over you. It means their agenda is making people used to these things. It's like in the music industry, you see a lot of more and more satanic rituals, satanic clothing in these performers. You see more and more in gaming. You see a lot of more demonic things, but not as being bad, but as being good. You know, they turn it around and they making young people, especially because older they cannot influence that much, but they make young people getting used to these demons, and that's not so bad, you know, and that's their plan. And so now they're putting these things in the streets, so people can have to stare at them. Yeah. So what do you think about that?
I wanna go back to the Scotland remark. Mm-hmm. The Prime Minister or ex-Prime Minister, as far as I remember, the Hamza Yusuf guy. My question all the time when he became Prime Minister of Scotland was, how does it make sense that an Arab guy, an Arab Muslim, is Prime Minister of Scotland?
Of a Christian Protestant, yeah.
How does that make sense? That doesn't make sense in no universe. Like, first of all, who planted him there? Where does he come from? What are his intentions? Everybody just had to accept it. And all of a sudden he comes with those laws, these ridiculous anti-Christ laws, and he forces them upon people, and then he's backing up Hamas as well at the same time, low-key. And
the same with the mayor of London. He's a Muslim.
The same. Yeah. Exactly the same. But the interesting thing, what I've noticed, if you really observe them, that they use their Islamic status, their religion, to mingle with people and boost their reputation, but behind closed doors, they're not. So that's also deception, and deception and lying comes from Satan. So again, Satanism. And so it's what I see is that I believe that in all those countries where these things are happening, like in the UK, it's just because, you know, the Muslim community, they believe that they're getting theirs, they're getting what they want, so they're victorious, right? But it's also an illusion because they're only being used as a tool. I always compare it to chess. Pawns are replaceable. They don't matter.
They don't realize it, but
no,
they're used.
It's a tool to be used for whatever agenda they have in mind. So eventually, if you think you win because of your religious ideology, your beliefs, you will lose at the end as well. There is no winning for normal people or everyday people. That's not the point.
No.
So if you don't choose Christ in that scenario, then it's going to be even worse for you at the end, because you will have to go through that, and then everything that Christ came to abolish, you know, the things like slavery and infidelity and all the heavy loaded negative stuff that is within human nature, it's just going to come back again, but in a different format, because then tech is going to be involved, AI is going to be involved, and then we get to the point of Revelations where, you know, there is talk of the mark of the beast. So you're not going to win then eventually. Who as a normal person can win whatever religion they want to claim besides their loyalty to Christ? You know, there is nothing that's going to save you at the end of the day, sadly enough, you know, not in human nature. And the other part, what I wanted to mention as well, is that indeed Speaker's Corner, I don't know if you're aware with it, Hyde Park, I've always wanted to go there for these type of debates, but last years, like the last 5 to 15 years, it's been dominated by the Islamic crowd. And there are people that are violent, there are people that make death threats and are aggressive. And Hatun Tash, for example, she's an ex-Muslim coming from Turkey, and she was looking for refugee status within the UK because of fear of persecution, because there are countries that you're not allowed to become Christian if you have a Muslim background. There are penalties. So she was looking for asylum for that reason in the UK, and then she gets to deal with that, being stabbed, being slapped, being harassed, having to move, being homeless, and that's all normal accordingly to the Free West. And you know, where is discrimination? Where is Christophobia? Where is that? You don't hear anything of that. But if it's the opposite, then all of a sudden it becomes a big problem, and that shows that what is at work, what's truly at work.
Besides, Islam isn't a normal religion; it's a conquer religion. It's a religion of conquerors. Its purpose is to dominate the whole world, and if you don't follow, then you at the best you are shunned and you have to pay big fines and extra taxes. In the worst, you're just beheaded. That's simple. And in my opinion, any religion that promotes deception, promotes lying, promotes to kill infidels is not a religion of peace. Believe me, there is nothing in the New Testament that says things like that. There is only try to help people, try to persuade people to come to Christianity, but there is no violence involved, nothing. And in the Quran, there is a lot of violence promoted. They're very smart, as you say, because it's Satan, because he uses them. But they infiltrate politics. They infiltrate positions of power, and if you're in position of power, you can change laws and you can change opinions, and that's what they're doing. That's what the Jews have been doing in America for centuries. I mean, that's the way it works. You have to get to the top, and then from the top down, you can manipulate people, or you can change things. I don't really believe in Trump as being the savior, because I don't believe in any human as savior. We're all flawed. But I think if Europe doesn't get a strong, powerful politician like Trump, to clean up all the shit that's going around, all the infiltrations, we're doomed. And it's not going to take 10 years anymore. It's going to take 4, 5, 6 years, and we're doomed. Especially if there is AI involved. There are now computers, AI that is smarter than Einstein. You have to think about that. So once they start to use that to implement rules, AI, there is no end in sight. One, they can say, well, it's AI. We didn't make the rules. It's the AI that wants to keep the peace in humans. So we have to abolish certain things to keep the peace. So they wash their hands like in the old days, so they don't have blood on their hands. And secondly, AI has no feelings, has no emotions. And AI is just a computer program that doesn't value life. You see? So if AI comes to the conclusion that Christianity is a religion that is not good for the peace, to keeping the peace in the population, well, he will make laws, and we will follow them because it's AI. And that's again, we go to the mark of the beast. It's all connected, but it all starts with power, and it all starts with manipulation and infiltration, and that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. That's what they've been doing for the last 50, 60, 70 years. You can also think, why is there an explosion of immigrants only from Islamic countries to the West? Why is that? Because they need the people, they need the votes, they need the power of the masses. There are, I believe, 5 big cities in the UK where the Christianity white community is only 30%. All the rest is Islam and colored people. So this is, it's a lost cause there, I believe. Or there has to be somebody with a very strong personality, really Christian person that says, stop, we have to stop this. The corruption, that's what Trump is doing. He's rooting out every corruption in every corner there is, and now they're all in panic, and they're all trying to portray him as a fascist and as a dictator. No, he's just rooting out the weeds. That's it. And of course they're afraid, because there are people about 150 years old that still get money. Can you believe it? It's about millions of dollars every year that go to pensioners. There is even one guy, I looked at the list, of 300 years old, still getting benefits. I mean, if you an example for what is about to come. Oh, yeah.
The only thing that I wanted to ask as well as a counter, like most of the time, like the Muslim community would say things like, yeah, but if you fear the blasphemy law being a part of everyday life, it used to also exist in old days of the UK, but then in the sense of Christianity, that you weren't allowed to blaspheme against the Lord Jesus Christ, so there were penalties. And so why is it any different if it includes our religion, Islam? And then the second thing is that people seem to actually, more and more people are starting to wake up, but they don't seem to see the seriousness of what it is. That when, let's take the example of Camilla, I think that was her name, of royalty, UK royalty. She was going through different classes and school. I don't remember. I mean, I can pull it up, but I don't remember. And what I noticed is, and okay, this is the elite. This is different. This is not like everyday people. But they seem to be really living in their little bubble, because they don't see what is actually going on, and that's the thing that actually is more scary, that these people are so into that position, into their role playing, because that's basically what it is, they're role playing, that they don't see what is at risk. Because think about that, like, it's not because they're royalty that they can't be replaced either. You know, I mean, we've seen it throughout the generations and years that there have been people with certain status that got deleted as well. So it's not a position that they can cling on to forever. And the thing that you always see in those type of situations is that the moment that you think nobody can reach you, it's going to happen sooner or later. Think about the French Revolution, for example. You know, when you think you can't be touched, and then the people turn on you, and then it's done. It's over. No royalty. Think about back in the days with Russia and stuff, with the royalty there. You know, they went so hardcore that they dug them out under the underground and stuff. They found them. Everybody. And it's really sad, but that's like in the extreme case scenarios where people, in all of a sudden, the horde, the sheeple, do wake up and then go into this primitive mode and then do a lot of equally atrocious stuff, you know, because we're still dealing with other human beings. And but it's the seriousness, and that's what I wanted to ask concerning the blasphemy laws, because a lot of the Muslim community would always say, yeah, but it already existed way back, so what's the difference now?
Well, what can I say about that? I don't agree with anything that is being muzzled. I don't agree with censorship. I hate censorship in any form. Words or opinions have to be free. That's how we were born. That's how we were made. We have a brain. We can think. We can assess. We can discuss. And why would we have a brain like that if it's all muzzled? If you only have to think what the state thinks, if you only can say what the state says, then you're nothing more than a prisoner, a robot. And it works in every way. It works for Muslims as well as for Christians. It works for everybody. The privilege of being free, because people think freedom is free. No, free. You have to fight for your freedom. They did it in World War II. They did it in World War I. They were fighting for freedom, for their expression, for being free of dictatorship. Well, we are in a big fight now. It's a spiritual fight, but it's in a fight for our freedom. It's a fight for staying human. That's what their agenda is also like. They want to dehumanize you. They want to make you a sort of an empty shell without a real soul that just lives for their agenda. And you have to fight with every fiber in your life to stop this. It's the end of humanity. And about the royalties and the elites, well, if you were born in a royalty, and that has been royalty and kings for centuries, well, it's normal, it's logic that you don't associate with what's really happening in the world, because you don't know it. You never lived it. You live in this protected world. You live in this protected bubble where everything is done for you. Whatever your opinion, that is the truth. So you live in another world, but these are then the people that are telling us what to do, you know, how to live, but they never lived our lives. And that's what you see in history as well. It's like you say, at a certain point, they go so radical in abolishing freedoms of people that people rise up. And yeah, it's ugly. It's ugly, but it's not the people that made them ugly. It's the royalty, it's the elites that push people so far that they have to resist or they just die. So it's like Marie Antoinette. I don't know if you know the history that some government people told her, please, we have to do something. The people in Paris are starving of hunger. And she said, well, give them some cake. I mean, that's the reality. That is how these people think. You know, it's yeah. So in human lives, everything has to has a point of start and a point of peak. And at the peak, it's always have to come down. It's the power that gets corrupted. The power is started as a good thing, as a law, as seeing that everybody is happy, but then the corruption creeps in, and it becomes something very ugly. And that's when the change has to come. And that's what is happening now in America. The corruption there was so evil, because you don't even want to know what I know about the CIA, what they did in the world, not only in America, but in the world. It's really satanic. And now he's going to root them out. He's going to get rid of these people. I hope he succeeds, because there will be more than one attempt to kill him. I'm sure of it. And I hope that the people around him are honest too. You know, I still have my doubts about Elon Musk, his agenda, but let's wait. It still is better than what happened before with Biden and company. I mean, the country was going really in the abyss. Things that were crazy. The destruction of the youth there is crazy. It's crazy. More than 60 or 70% is not able to go into the army because they're unfit, they're obese, they're dumb. It's the system that created these children. You know, it's very sad for the children, because it's not their fault. But that's why the last 5, 6, 7 years, more and more people are doing homeschooling, because they know their schools are so corrupt that it's just indoctrination. It has nothing to do with education anymore. So he's going to clean up all this mess. It's a big job, but I think he will succeed in many ways. Let's hope so. And let's hope then that Europe opens its eyes and sees, wow, that is the good way to follow. That is the better way for humans to restore a little bit of correctness in our lives and freedoms. But as it stands now, again, France is as bad as England. What are they doing? France and England, they're planning now to oppose Trump in every way they can. It means, you see, it's evil that really is reacting. And France with Macron, yeah, we all saw the ritual he did with the Olympic Games. I mean, if this isn't blasphemy on Christianity, what is? So he's a real Satan lover, as well as Starmer. He's a puppet of Satan as well. Everything he promised to the people to get voted, he's now doing the opposite. So people have to get rid of these people. Don't vote for these people anymore. But the only thing, and that's the difference between a Republican and Democrats, we have so many different political parties that no matter what you vote, you have to get 2/3 to make a change, because all the others are hooking together. You see it in Belgium. We have only one party that opposes these radical things, these radical left things, but because not enough people vote for them, they are also always have to stay in the opposition. And that's the difference with America. You only have 2 ways to vote, left or right, you know. And in fairness, it's simple, and it has its flaws, but in fairness, it really can make a change. While in our democracy, there will not be a change. As long as these left lunatics are in power, they will see to it that your vote doesn't count. It doesn't count. You think it counts. You think you have something to say. No, you don't have anything to say. And that's what happened in the UK with Starmer. As soon as he got the power, everything's changed in a second. He won't be stopped. I mean, he promised to step out. He promised to resign, but he's not doing that. He says this, but he's not doing that. He has a plan. He has a vision, and he's going to implement that, no matter what people think about him. They don't care what people think about him. You know, they're soulless. They don't care. They don't care about children. They don't care about old people. They don't care. They just care about themselves and their power. That's it. That's it. So, again, yeah, I'm sorry to say, but I think if England doesn't find a new leadership, honestly, they're doomed. They're doomed, and we're all going to see it. The whole of the world is going to see the fall of UK. There are 50 provinces in England that have Sharia law. Can you believe it? In a Christian country, Sharia laws. I mean, how far can you go? So no.
I think the sad thing that comes with it too is that the people that do remain, the people that are non-Islamic, the people that actually want to leave but they can't for whatever reason, health, finance, or whatever. Sharia law is not only for Muslim people. Sharia law is for everybody, and that's the biggest problem, because it's not going to work in your advantage, and you will become a victim to it. And that's the thing you want to prevent if you believe in freedom, if you believe in Christ, if you believe in all these things that matter the most to us humans. Why did Christ come? Very simple, to oppose this type of system, right? What happened to him? They crucified him. So that by itself already provided evidence to, look, you oppose that system, Satan's system, we're gonna delete you, we're gonna get rid of you. But then again, Christ says, don't fear the ones who can destroy the body, but the soul. So the body, by getting rid of that doesn't fix their problem either. That gives them a bit more time and flexibility. And that's what Christ knew from the beginning and warned, his followers and believers of. Don't be afraid of that portion if that might happen. It's about killing the soul that is even worse. You have to make sure that's in order.
Yeah, and that's why they hate us so much, because all these evils, the real satanic people, they sold their soul. They don't have a soul anymore. So they know. That's why they cling to life so much. That's why they want to go so old as possible, because they know when their end is near, it's gone. It's done forever. They cannot come back. They will be in hell for the rest of their of eternity. So they know, and that's why they hate us so much. Because and that's why through technology and to all these laws, they try to abolish your soul. They try to infiltrate so they can dominate your soul. So you have to sell your soul. That's the mark of the beast. You sell your soul at that point. So I really want people to never forget these words. The moment you accept the mark, the moment you step into the world, yes, I will follow, your soul is gone. It's stated in the Bible. There is no coming back from that. And for what? To keep your shell? For how many years? If you make a bargain to get to remain in your shell in this world for another 10 years, or to have the promise of eternal life. I mean, it's an easy question. I mean, why would somebody sell his soul and doom himself for eternal damnation? No, but that's why they cling to life, and that's why you all see these Soros guys. They all become 90 and then 96, 97 years old because they cling to that life, because they know their end is the end. And that's why Satan as well is so vicious. He knows his end is coming. Somebody that knows I have so much years before I am demolished, I am obliviated. The hate starts boring, because they're getting jealous of people that they know they will be happy long after they are abolished. It's it's the way of nature. So it's very important that you never ever sell your soul. It's the only thing that is important to evil. This is your soul, because it's proven many times on videos, except that people who die, you see some entity, something coming out of the body. That is your soul. That is your soul going back to the Creator. That is your soul being prepared for a new life. And that's that this, in my opinion, that is proof that this is just a shell we need to live in this dimension. We need this to touch things, to manipulate things. We need this shell, and you have to try to keep your shell as healthy as possible. Don't harm your shell because you need it. But once it is old, it is dead. Well, then your soul just moves on. And that is why the soul is so important to evils. They don't want you to move on. They want you to be dead forever with them in Gehenna, to burn in eternity. So people really think, even if you're afraid, even if they come on your door and they say, well, if you don't get this mark, you will be put in prison for the rest of your life. Well, I know it's hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be terrible. But please keep in mind that the promise of Jesus, the promise of God, will be fulfilled. He doesn't lie. He doesn't lie like humans or Satan. He promised you eternal life. You will get it without the shell, but you will get it. And nothing is worth more than that. Nothing is worth more than that. All the richdom and all the pleasure and all the things you get in this life, it's fun. Yeah, it's fun, but it's very short. It's very short.